Hey guys, welcome to NIJ College Debates. We are here today at Delhi University. This is Priyanka, and today we are going to be talking about economic progress. So, first, I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves.
I'm Suhani Singhal and I'm pursuing economics honors from SRCC.
I'm Kunal and I'm pursuing BCom honors from Sri Ram College of Commerce.
So, hi, my name is Sara. I am doing history honors from Miranda House.
My first question to you is why do you think India is the fastest growing major economy today?
According to me and also according to various studies, the major factor that has been working in favor of India is the demographic dividend. Like the working population in India right now is majority under the age of like 35 years.
Yes.
And most of them are able to contribute towards productivity. And also one more thing which we can directly see, which we have been seeing in the past few years, is the infrastructural development which has been taking place.
I would say that India is the one of the largest growing economy of the world because since 2013 when the inflation was 10% in the country and Raghuram Rajan was appointed as the governor of the RBI, he set an inflation target and it has been set around 4 plus minus 2%. So and from the past 3 years, India is in the target line. So countering inflation and pushing upon investment is the basically the strategy that puts India in the leading economy list. Recently, India has been allocated the sixth largest economy of the world.
I think this is mainly because of two factors. One is the human resource potential that this country has. The second is the spaces that are being created by the NDA government for greater investment in this country. So, under this government, there has been a huge upshot in FDI, and that increases investment and that encourages foreign capital to flow into this country, which is why the economy has been, it is one of the fastest growing economy, and there have been some radical changes that have been brought in by this government, such as demonetization, such as the introduction of the GDP, and regardless of how these reforms are being implemented, we can safely say that these have created a huge impact in building a form of trust in the Indian economy, and has encouraged foreign capital to flow in, and that is very conducive to its growth.
There was a recent article, I think August 7th article, where the IMF called India an elephant that is ready to run because of economic reforms. What are your thoughts on that? And specifically, which reform do you feel is impacting India the most effectively?
They said that basically the problem that the Indian economy was facing was of twin balance sheet, that the corporate balance sheet is also bad and the bank balance sheet is also bad. And to counter that, they have introduced IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. They have amended many laws in that, and I think that will help in build. And they have also introduced a concept known as bad banks, which will help in making the balance sheet problem good, and I think we are good to go.
So, according to the 2017 to 18 economic survey, investment slowdowns hurt the economy more than saving slowdown. And currently, India is going through a period of investment slowdowns because if we compare the level of investment to past years, we are at a low level. And IBC is one of the reforms which actually works towards improving this condition and reversing the revival, because it's making an environment conducive for investment by improving the conditions of liquidity, and also how a company can actually declare insolvency and bankruptcy by consolidating many laws. Other than that, if we talk about GST, it's a very good move in terms of the formalization it is about to offer. But right now, I think the organized sector, the corporate formal sector, is gaining at the expense of the unorganized sector, which is not really able to keep up with the pace at which these reforms are being introduced, especially GST for that matter. So I think that IBC is more effective in such a scenario. GST will take some time to factor in the growth.
Do you think now GST has been introduced not so long ago, but do you think with time, all the factors and all the concerns that you are talking about right now will be sorted out?
I think definitely, because the awareness that is being spread by this particular government is really high, and it doesn't take a day to change the world or the scenario. So it'll take some time, and it will take more time than the other moves, of course, because it's something that we have to adjust to very recently. It's not that something that has been into the picture for quite long.
So, I agree with what she said, that economic reforms take a certain amount of time to reach full maturity and hence effectiveness. So, I appreciate the uniformity that GST brought in to taxation policies in India, and yes, it is slowly bringing in changes. I believe that GST has helped clear up a lot of confusion that was regarding the taxation policies. And when there's a uniform taxation policy, you kind of don't feel cheated, or you kind of don't feel manipulated when there are, different blocks of taxation and the different brackets of taxpayers. So there's a certain level of mistrust involved, and GST has kind of brought in a lot of uniformity.
So, to build on that, let's talk about the issue of trust a little bit. Do you think because of the GST complementing our growth rate right now? Right? As I think you said before, majority of our country, 62% of our nation is under the age of 35 years old, right? 35 or under, I should say. So now, how do you think, does this demographic, when you look at the entire subcontinent of India, right, is it an asset with our growth rate?
So I definitely feel that this demographic dividend is an asset, but to realize it even further, we need to create more job opportunities. And as I mentioned earlier too, jobless growth is one of the problems that is plaguing the economy, because according to the 2011 census, the economy was growing at a rate of around 7 to 8%, but the employment growth rate was just 1.8%. So here comes a problem of economic growth being a necessary condition, but not really a sufficient condition to ensure more economic opportunities. And to capitalize on that, I think the Prime Minister is improving opportunities in terms of entrepreneurship, which I think is very important, because if the government is not able to create more jobs in the existing businesses, I think they're trying to create more businesses, which is itself a good point.
I think the mantra is actually like create jobs. Don't just go into a job, but
Exactly.
do something that will create more jobs.
Create
right?
more jobs.
Yeah.
Instead of the government creating jobs, they are actually promoting individuals to create jobs,
create
which is a very good initiative according to me.
I think that jobless growth is really a big problem that we are facing. According to the recent report published by IBI in April, it said that there are 2 million jobs available for 16 million youth in the country. So it is very disheartening to know that. So and
As
yeah,
a college student.
as a college, as an undergrad. So yeah, as she said that we need to create more jobs, and this could be done through creating more businesses. And the recent policies by the India-led government is that Startup India and Stand Up India, and moreover they are also providing free loans to the under OBCs, SC, STs, and they are also encouraging women entrepreneurship, which I think is very important when around 40 to 45% of the population is women. And I also like to add that Modi has also said that we are moving from brain drain to brain gain. So this is a very big step that, and he has quoted the example of MOM, the Mangalyaan mission, in saying that, in which the cost was, I think, less than a Hollywood movie. We were able to send a Mars mission in less than a Hollywood movie. So I think we are good to go. If
I think development, as she said, cannot be just in terms of economic growth, because you have to look at development in a consolidated form. So there are other markers of development like the Human Development Index, and actually India has slipped from 130 rank to 131st rank in 2017. There's huge gender disparity in terms of the human development value, because women still have 10% less human development value than men. The per capita income in this country is still not what we would want it to be, because considering the fact that it's one of the fastest growing economy in the world. So when we talk in terms of growth and economic growth of India, I think we need to talk in terms of holistic development rather than just producing jobs.
And when you're talking about women specifically, now as he mentioned, there is a huge push for women entrepreneurship as well. Do you think that that this push from the Prime Minister is a good thing?
First of all, entrepreneurship leads to empowerment. And empowerment in economic terms can be very liberating to a lot of women. Not just, to a large section of the population, money is where, the power lies. And so I do believe that when you push for entrepreneurship specifically for women, you balance the disparity that lies in the system regarding whether it is wage labor, whether it is growth in jobs, whether it is educational opportunities. So yes, I do believe that a push towards entrepreneurship for women and encouraging their job opportunities specifically for them, it will be a good thing for the future.
Now, your point about the reverse brain drain was very interesting. And this is happening, I guess, for several reasons, right? One, people overseas are finding redundancy in jobs, right? Geopolitics is another reason. So, do you feel that with more people coming from overseas to India, is this a good thing and why?
Yeah, is it a good thing? See, the people, you take Google CEO or Sundar Pichai, he's a person of India origin. He is IIT Kharagpur graduate. So yeah, so if we are getting our people back and we are able to develop, see, basically the problem doesn't lies in the infrastructure, but the ideas that they have. We have a very good infrastructure, but they have great ideas, but they move because of the pay packages that the government is offered, the quality of life that is in India. If we are able to see, economic importance, economic freedom is important, but social freedom is also important. We need to change our mindset. In India, we can't, means women are not free. Women are not, they are not economically free as well as socially. So we need to change the environment that is in India to stop the brain drain and start brain gain. Since the Prime Minister, brain gain was a brainchild of Prime Minister, surely he has a vision. When he speaks, he has a vision. And he's the first Prime Minister, I think, to say about the initiative that as Atal Bihari Vajpayee also said, that we need to focus on the youth. The youth is the future, and Modi is also following his footsteps, and they are also focusing on Swarajya, which I think is important, and getting our persons back from US. And geopolitics, as you mentioned, that geopolitics plays an important role. We are all aware about the Trump policies that he's implementing, and they are, if you talk to a person in US, a person of India origin, they are also facing problem, H1B visas or other massive problems. They are being deported. We have heard about the 14 Muslim countries, citizens of 14 Muslim countries, which are deported to their countries. So why not take advantage of this situation and play smartly?
So I have something to add to this. I think that the social picture of India is really changing, and that is especially after the NDA government has been elected. And the major reason has been because I think now the youth is taking more interest in politics than ever, and the nationalistic sentiments that are associated with the current scenario are higher than ever. And that is why I think there's a brain gain back to the country. One politician actually asked us, how many of you want to go abroad to study? And many people raised their hands, and he asked, how many of you,
When was this?
This was in September last year, and his next question was, how many of you want to go to abroad and really settle there? And only 2 people out of that large crowd raised their hands. Yeah, because I think the mindset now is people might go and study abroad, but they actually want to come back to their country and contribute towards the development, because I think that it is not only a responsibility and an obligation, but also something that we should do as citizens of the country.
We need to go abroad, we need to learn the skills and then come back. I can quote an example of China here. They go to the US, they go to the Canada, they learn the techniques, then they come back to China.
So
and
this is also playing it smart, right?
yeah,
Because
so
you're
yeah,
going there and then coming back here.
that's smart. So to go to US, go to Canada, learn the skills, come back to India. The Chinese go to US, go to Canada, and come back to China and develop. No, and I don't need to tell you that the Chinese companies are flourishing around the world, and this is the time of act east and not look west.
Right. Do you feel that now, based on our entire discussion, right? This was a great discussion. Prime Minister Modi is the one that can most responsibly take the government forward versus all the other candidates that he's facing?
I believe that he is one of the strongest leaders we have seen recently, and he has immense power and authority to mobilize a large section of the population. And I believe that there is now no viable other alternative to Prime Minister Modi, and he should make use of his power and his authority and his ability to mobilize people to lead the country forward. If he comes back to power, he should be an example for the entire society, and not just a certain group of people following a certain religion, caste, creed, whatever. So yes, I believe he's a very strong leader. I believe he's very opinionated. He has extremely good oratory skills, and yes, I believe he can do wonders. If
First of all, there's this very famous quote by James Freeman Clark, who says that a good politician thinks about the next election, but a good statesman thinks about the next generation. So Modi is one of those people who's actually targeting the foundational problems in our economy. For example, if we look at the agrarian crisis, politicians do talk about MSP and also farm loan waivers. I'm sure even Modi does. But when he is talking about bringing about modernity to the agricultural sector, he is actually targeting those farmers which do not really care about MSP and farm loan waivers, who don't have access to the market. So I think he's looking after development in a holistic way. And see, like, it's just 1 year before the elections, and he cannot ignore the politics part of it. It's inevitable to, to actually ignore things like farm loan waivers, which might not be economically very good, but politically they are the things that, promote keep a party going. And I think that the majority of the population in India understands politics more than they understand economics. So focusing on politics is necessary, but Modi as a leader is taking steps towards better economics also, which I think is the need of the hour. And I think a leader like him is absolutely necessary for our country to grow at a higher pace, or probably at the same fast pace at which we are growing.
At what,
7.7%.
Modi has completely an advantage over other politicians. He directly connects to the heart of the Indian public, the Indian masses. We all know that India was a very dirty place, but launching of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, it could be done by any other government, but he did it. Recent Nimami Gange project, and it's the framework that he has established. I think he will surely win the 19 elections, but not sure about 24 elections.
That concludes our debate. So thanks so much for your insights. What did you think about NIJ and this discussion?
I think that our different opinions divide us, but the freedom to express them actually unites us. And since we just celebrated our 72nd Independence Day, I think this is very important to be promoted at a micro level, so that it actually magnifies to a macro level where people can voice out what they feel. So I think this is an initiative in that direction, and I love being a part of it.
NIJ, it is a great initiative, and as we know, there every problem could be solved through discussion, and you might know that there would be a solution in our discussion. We might act smartly after. So yeah, it is a great initiative and giving students the platform to express their views.
I believe, yes, that NIJ is a great initiative because we do need a common platform to come together and discuss, debate, no matter how contradictory our opinions might be. So I really commend you for coming up with this platform, because Delhi University, I mean, we are kind of isolated in our own colleges, right? And to come together and then talk and, chat basically is a great opportunity.
1, 2, 3.
NIJ School!